it up for duck hunting season, and then works its way all the way down to Arkansas or
I
something.
always
We
said
come
I
home in
worry
the summer and cut straight.
I worry, we're high out there. Sometimes I think I do as good as I do on the series.
We live right now.
We're live. We're not live. We're hot. We're recording.
My life's gonna look like this.
Oh, you would be fast.
We will.
Right now,
Exactly.
I do really good. I think I'm
How the
gonna
sun comes out, I'm good.
Hey, good. Doing well. Good to see
where would
you.
it go?
My dad died.
Please don't stay in.
Hey, we good on we good on our continuing ed. You've been
Somebody's
teaching
gonna
us a lot this year.
See you later,
I know
man.
they can.
It's so good.
We have to make a more formal thing. It's hard though because when the office of planning, the regional office,
Yeah.
was shut down.
Yeah.
When Haslam first started, no one really ever encouraged to put the ban on it.
I said you too. So it's really enforced or not?
It's not enforced mostly because of
History.
But should we just keep a record saying tonight with a training session or something, or does it have to be, it don't have to be published, I guess.
no, it doesn't have that published.
But I mean, because I know the county will be continuing ed at part They'll just
We
be
have
announced.
occasionally. We could go more formal.
No, I don't think so.
It's just always good to get out of the city.
But we've changed so many ordinances this year. We follow all that training, going through.
Joe, send me the and have the legend on there, and then I gave you all my pictures. That's what that is.
I actually put in that mix, you know, that's the hard part.
Stacy's on there.
I'm ready to jump in, and it's really funny, I'm sitting at the funeral today, Chris Holton, I think it's his Don, what is to know if you knew where the cemetery was that his grandmother was buried, or great grandfather. Just getting my knocking that up. So now I have to.
I'm trying to get my one painting complete. I got one cell painting that's not as good getting done.
Well, I belong
They
to
painted
this
like
history, but
2 weeks ago and they started freezing on them.
They have a lot of.
And then it started raining, you know, it's just like been nothing but. So they were sitting out there naked, everything's primed up for the final push. I said, I need this
I
done
used to
before
see them with
Christmas.
surgery. This stuff down. Church Gladys.
Hey Stacy.
And it'll take you to try to
Footers, foundations, until the weather turns so bad.
And they were finishing paving over there at the crossing, you know, they were doing that there. That new Arby's stuff they're bringing.
Yeah.
They were topping that this morning. In the fog, it's kind of weird because we had all the steam coming off of the new pavement and all the fog too.
Okay,
It's
I
like
believe
eerie.
it is
Yeah.
6 o'clock, and I will call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We'll look at your minutes. I will give you a few minutes to make motions to approve or disapprove. Have a motion? I have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion, a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposition? Minutes are approved. Have any public comments? Okay, no public
Ho,
comments.
ho, ho, how's that?
You gotta stand up in front of the camera
Right,
and
today to see
I've never seen it myself, so I don't know.
I haven't either, I hear about it. Our first agenda item is discussion of site plan for lot 92 with Mr. Gordon.
Hello. We took your comments from last meeting and basically scrapped everything we had been working on, reinvented ourselves, and defined our new product for that area. And I'm pretty happy with the way that you guys did the large plat.
I saw it on email, but I couldn't.
maintain a front facing to Horton Highway, and we've integrated the central courtyard. I've developed a floor plan for these units. They are mostly 2-story. There is a concept for a 3-story. I think we're really pushing the square footage on the 3-story concept for this. So it'll probably be a 2-story, but there is an option for a 3rd floor. They do have balconies, patios, and a 5-foot apron on the back for mounting it. I think it works really well.
Y'all have adjusted the setbacks as we discussed
Well,
last time.
we still maintain the 25-foot public utility and drainage, and then we have another 20
So
there.
this is your actual lot line, or is that
This
exit
is
25?
this is the 25.
Okay, to here, okay. So we've got the setback as we discussed.
It is not, we couldn't get the 50 feet to work on that. And then I went through the thoroughfare plan, and I couldn't find anywhere where that's being asked for anywhere. I know on Duplex Road over in Springfield, I know you're familiar with that. That's a 75-foot right of way completely. And we already have a 66, so that's where we are with the right of way. We feel that it's, what was that, 58 feet to the edge of the public utility and drainage easement.
So do you know roughly from the front of the structure to the
believe
lot
that-
line? I mean, if we've got 25 to here, we're what, maybe 37, 38,
I believe we're going to be another 15, so that'll be
about
40.
40 instead of 50. I mean, I know a gentleman right now, and he's having a hard time in the county because the county increased. They used to be 50 foot on commercial properties, and they've increased it to 100. And they'll give a variance to somebody off of a major thoroughfare, but on the major thoroughfares, the county's actually enforcing 100. Which I know this is still residential, but it's more like, I guess, a commercial setting than a residential. Is there?
We just
I think it would be
felt
much
like
better if we
if
had 50 foot.
Well, you're really compromising your setback over here on the back lot line, and really doing away with the ability to do any landscaping there.
I'm gonna get comments from other people on the board.
That's what I went through. I mean, I want you to know that we
Yeah.
have gone through it. I looked at the thoroughfare plan that's being proposed right now. I blew up that area, pulled all the comments off, and it seems like most of the comments on the thoroughfare plan deal with traffic signalization north and south, and then a pedestrian crossing at the school. So we didn't see how we have 58 feet, like I said, from the center line to the public utility and drainage easement.
I'm just thinking out loud. Could you meet your lot size requirements back here on the other lots outside of lot 92 if you did a revision to lot 92 to grow at 10 feet? I personally just think it's smart planning, especially something of this nature, to maintain that 50 foot off the highway. And I think in the near future, as a board, I think it would be wise to address that even on a subdivision regulation for commercial and maybe even residential along the, at least along 31A and 99. I don't know if the arteries, Depot Street and Union Road, I wouldn't see the need for those roads to ever be widened. I just know what a mess that some cities have found themselves in years down the road when they don't have enough room to properly widen the road. But I mean, just could you rob 10 foot off
Well,
of
we could
these
take
lots?
10 feet out of the middle here. It just would really start making that to where you don't have a landscaped area that will ever grow because it's perpetually in shade.
And again, I think protecting the setback on the highway would, I think down the road, that's gonna be pretty critical. Even if you had to shift your eastern lot line 10 foot to maybe keep your green space and get to the 50 foot over here. And I mean, worst you'd have to do on these, what do you have, maybe 3 lots right here? I think they would all meet your minimum lot size. They would just decrease by 10 foot. And I guess what I'm asking is if would you be opposed to a motion to approve with the contingency that you make it work with 50 foot off the highway?
I would.
You would be opposed to that?
I would. I just think that really messes up the rear of the site. We have to maintain an easement through there. If you wanted to do away with that, I guess we could, but
Well, the PUD allows us to have more of a compromise between the planning commission and developer. Is there a concession that in your planning, which you've done quite a bit of, that a concession on part of the city in return for an extra 10 feet would make the deal better? At any point in the planning phases?
well, that's
For the
just,
stuff you have
that's
to
just,
come.
we reshuffled
I know.
the entire product to make this work, and we really feel that we have adequate setback from. I mean, we increased it from what we originally had.
It's better than it was, yes, sir. I'll agree with you there. It's better than it was, but it's not what we had discussed at the last meeting, which,
I'm not trying to
Yeah.
say it was.
Yeah. Stacy, Jackie, Marion, do y'all have any?
I hate to see him keep coming back on this. If he won't get, say, he just said he could back it up, but he's gonna take out the green space between, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that would be one way to take 10 foot.
Okay.
Another way would be to just,
So how much space is here already?
it's probably what, 70 foot, maybe 80 foot?
I think it's a 75-foot courtyard.
75 foot. Could you flip your landscape buffer to the opposite side of the lot line and make a 10-foot landscape easement on the rear of these lots right here, and just shift everything 10 foot to the east? I mean, it looks like you've got, or instead of having a 5-foot PUD on the rear of these lots, make it a 15-foot PUD with your landscape buffer on the opposite side of the.
And then that means whenever it transfers, that's gonna be on the other property.
That's right.
Or it's not gonna be owned by.
But if it's a perpetual easement, it don't matter who it's on. I mean, if it's written,
There's already gonna be one on the lots that are platted,
it'll be a 5-foot PUD, I believe.
so
So maybe increase it to a 15 and put your
I just think it would be
landscape.
really unfair to the neighbor to not to have a landscape berm maintained by us with, they'd be putting a road right in their backyard. Personally.
I'd take it out of the middle before I leave the backyard.
And if we take anything out of the middle, we're gonna lose, ancillary parking as well.
With these lots,
Yes, sir. I would guess.
I've been callers. Gotta have a sense of humor.
I mean, we've got 40 now, and that's what 10 or 15 foot better than we had last month.
And we've dropped from, the proposed 55 units down to 43
Yeah,
in order to
40 now.
accomplish that.
Yes, sir.
Isaac, where are you counting, where is the right of way? Is it
The dark
66 foot right of way, and how far are we asking?
60 foot, it's 66 foot right away, and right now, by scale, it appears that the front of the structure is probably 40. Is this the front? The front face? Yeah, the front of the structures would be about 40 foot off of the actual front lot line.
From the edge of the existing right of way?
No,
from the edge of
the edge of the lot, not the
Edge of the lot.
To
Well,
the-
the edge of the lot is the edge of the right of way, correct? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And how does that correspond with the existing center line, if that, because I guess what I'm wondering.
Well,
if
the
you-
center line should be 33 foot, so from the center line of the road, we'd be
We're
73 foot from the center line of the road.
Okay.
More or less, yes, sir.
And
But you're, I'm
a
sorry.
3-lane divided highway, or a 3-lane, which is what I think it'll ultimately probably be, easily.
Still
fits
fit within the 66, yes.
It could be built in 66, but, you know, even with the slope, it's a 75.
Yeah. So we're still not gonna, I know that it would be hundreds of years down the road before we'd have asphalt in these people's front yard. It would just be chewing up any, potential setback and green space there. And I know across from you, there's plenty of room over there, but I'll roll with the majority here, so I'll let y'all vote first. Somebody's gotta make a motion though. I would say I'd make a motion if we could get 50 foot, but
I appreciate that, but I think we've
if you're gonna be opposed to it, I won't be the one to make the motion.
So if we make the motion now on this one, you're saying that we might need to visit our rules?
I think we need-
So in the future, this, when it comes up again, it's
And-
not a,
And we've discussed this before. I mean, it's been months back, but I personally feel that the setback requirement, both for residential, commercial, B1, B2, B3, any setback along a major thoroughfare, in my opinion, should be a greater distance than it is on a, in a platted subdivision, on Bigger Street or Lawrence or Edmondson, because they are what they are. There's no, super highways are going to go through there. So I think that because the county did it in 2007, I believe. They used to have 50 on their front setback on C1 to C2, and they increased it to 100 because most of their plats at that time coming in were along,
you're saying it
major
like where
roads.
Domino's and stuff is down there right now. I mean, the new road's going right in there, like it almost took their parking lot.
So the county, which the county hadn't touched anything residential, and this is a unique situation because we've got a multifamily facility on property that is zoned, in essence, commercial, equivalent of the county's commercial. It is a B2 zone. So if this same exact site plan were just outside the city limits, the requirement would be 100 foot off of the front lot line before any structure could be put there. And I have seen them grant a variance off the beaten path, but they're pretty. That's why they changed the rule in the county, was to keep buildings along the main highways, from being too close to the main highway.
And what's funny
What's
is,
our ruling on it now? The city's ruling on it.
Well, the city setback on B2, he's exceeded it. But because this is in essence an overlay or a PUD, if you want to call it that, it's a different use than what the property's zoned for. My opinion is, if this were a business coming in here, we would have no choice but to go with whatever the setback in our rule book is for B2. But because it's an overlay, I think we have the flexibility to ask for a little more, and you've given a little more. He's already given a little more than what the minimum requirement is right now. But I think moving forward, we need to address the minimum requirement at least along the main highway.
So if we vote to pass this one, are you good with us going ahead and putting it on the agenda to work on the other?
I mean, we can start discussing it, next month. I mean, I know it's like everything else we've changed. It takes 3 or 4 months,
Right.
to get something changed. But it would put it in motion as pending legislation, where if we had another plat come in, and I do like the overall concept and design, and I know you've it looks like you've done everything we've asked you to do. It's just, we're 10 foot off on the front, but if y'all are okay with it, I'll,
If the planning commission does proceed with less than 50, then Isaac's recommendation to get it as an agenda item in subsequent months is important, because this will become a working precedent. And as we all know, state highways don't get smaller, they only get larger. So we have to do something that would protect the long-term vision to make sure that there's ample leverage on both sides of the road. And the only way to do that is to have a codified standard, and then we can put that into the subdivision regulations.
and I certainly don't think we need 100. The county's reasoning for 100 was not necessarily,
It's more 5 lane
Well, that-
sidewalks and a turn-in lane too.
their reasoning behind it was not necessarily for a property to function, for something to function properly. It was more for aesthetics.
Well, if they widen that road bus down there, they're gonna bottleneck on both ends. We're gonna turn right around, and if they want to widen 31A here, they're fixed to tear down the
It's
bank.
gonna be amazing.
Everything
They're
down
going,
through
they're going
town.
to tear down something on one side of the road.
Yeah,
You're
fire
right.
hall,
You're right.
everything else down through there. Once
Which-
something's gonna come down.
Which what they've done in Spring Hill is they're still bottlenecked in the old part of town, but all the new growth, you know, north of town.
Have you seen, if you've been to Lewisburg down, you bypass like going to Walmart, what they did to the garage.
That's why they put a
You walk
bypass
off the
in.
sidewalk, you step and get some gas tank.
Yeah.
Okay, are we finished with discussion? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to the plans, got set right here.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion and a second, let's have all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. All right, site plan for child care facility with Holly Span.
I don't think anyone's here for this one, but this was also something that I sent by email, but the only thing that we were gonna chime in on this one was the facade, because the state fire marshal is handling the approval of the build out, I think is how we left that. So I had them make a notation about the facade, and I think that it states on here that it's gonna be brick. I'll have to blow it up. But I think they've got brick veneer in all the,
Is that the new and the old mark?
to see that, I'll have to read on here,
Yeah, it says new brick here.
yes.
Okay. So
New vinyl
it's,
window.
Yeah, existing would be light
okay,
colored.
okay,
and
so the dark shaded area is
Dark
new.
is
Okay.
new brick veneer.
Sure, okay.
Any discussion?
I think the state's pretty well gonna recommend everything we need to do to it.
Being
because
childcare,
Be
yeah.
a child care, they inspect everything going through there. Only fireproof doors inside and out, everything else, so
So I have a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Site plan for cabinet makeovers with Lori Zimmer. Any discussion?
As y'all know, we've sold the property to a cabinet company up there, and we have retained 2 acres, which we talked about the last time we were in here. And we have taken it before the land engineer and all we've done all the planning for water runoff and everything. Isaac has been very helpful in that. And so anyway, I think the plats that you have there comes from the land engineer as far as the retention pond, how everything will flow off. We've got plenty of setback on the buildings. We decreased the building lengths from basically 100 foot down to around 80 foot, 82 foot, in order to gain plenty of room to the left and plenty of room to the right. So we're not going to have to share a ditch with the company that has bought the property. There's a possibility down the road we could put a 3rd building in. We do not have that planned to do right now. The 2 buildings that will face sideways to Crutcher Road, which is a pretty good ways off Crutcher Road, but the 2 buildings that sit sideways, there'll be a driveway that's coming up from Crutcher Road. That will be a shared driveway in the sense that if and when, because their plan is to expand there. This company is a pretty aggressive company, and I think they have plans to do a lot, which would be good for Chapel Hill. And whenever they do that, they will have the right to share that. We have even taken into consideration in this, one of the things that we worked with the land engineer on was their runoff also, not just ours, but theirs. Because even though theirs is grandfathered in, something that Isaac and we all discussed together is that, right now you've got that parking lot, and you've got the buildings and stuff like that, and there is drainage. that's coming off and apart from us, probably a major flood, we don't got a problem, but we're gonna go ahead and put the infrastructure in right now so that if the water did, we're gonna be building up, those two buildings will be up in the air just a little bit so that you can get drainage to the northwest end. But we will have it to where there will be a culvert that will go across the road and then be able to run down the west side of the property to the northwest end in order to take care of. So we're trying to be a real good neighbor in this. We're trying to work with them. The good thing with our company has, it's been growing, and so we've been, having more employees and stuff like that, which is good. But, right now this is going to be sufficient, and we'll just see whether we'll need a third building in the future. But everything is figured in there for a third building if it's ever needed. Right now, we're going to be way beyond what the need is as far as retention pond and stuff like that. So, is there anything else? Questions?
That was my question, is that the engineering, and it did appear from what I've seen before, that the engineering is geared to the current building.
Yes. Yeah, we had them do that so that if we ever need it, it's there.
And that's really the only reason it's shown on here, because it's for right now, the two buildings will suffice, but I advise them to go ahead and show the third building and have all the calculations and water runoff designed for that.
It meets the standards of our approval process as well as meeting questions from last meeting, so.
Yeah, you had mentioned something about the shared driveway last time, but we don't need that for this, right? That's taken care of later.
What they've got, they retain 2 acres, and we changed our rule for industrial zone property and some commercial settings as well, where an egress is allowed to service the property. So the 50-foot egress is actually owned by the company, the outfit that they sold the 10 acres to. So they would have the right, if they ever developed this section in front of them between Crutcher Road and their property,
They have the right
they
to
would
use
have
it
the right
too.
to use it as well. But
Okay.
right now,
And one of the things that we did per Isaac, Isaac has been really helpful in this whole thing. It's good to have a son that knows stuff.
He's got a head full of knowledge.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. A lot smarter than me. But if you notice, the coming off of Crutcher Road, the first, 50 foot or more is going to be it'll be paved there. So that there will not be any gravel or anything going back onto Crutcher Road. So, Isaac has tried to, in his, sorry about that. But anyway, Isaac has tried to be really helpful in trying to make sure this is something that y'all will approve. I know that he can't be involved in this, but he has been very involved in trying to make sure this is something that is good. We've spent a lot of time and effort, money.
Takes a lot more time and effort, money than people
Yeah.
realize.
It's a lot. We spent a lot of money just trying to, with the land engineer and stuff like that, just trying to get this thing to where it would do properly.
Any discussion?
You say it meets the criteria?
I do.
I make a motion to pass it.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Yeah, I see.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Please make the record that I abstained from the vote. It's on camera.
It's Christmas, you're being
nice to us.
Any other business? Any other business? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank y'all very much.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
It's adjourned.
You done early.
What if I ain't through yet? No.
It's adjourned, you just have
It's
to.
Jackie, it's your second meeting tonight, ain't it?
Marty, come to that first one. Ask,
On for next month.
if y'all want
discuss that.
a nice calendar, ask our city manager
Use
for
it
more.
right away. Do it.
Nice calendar. This says Alderman, but our city manager has some.
Yeah, there's a box full of them in there if anybody wants one.
Well, we'll just pass these out right now if you want.
I'll take one.
So
I'm trying to get used to putting notes in my phone.
These are
And
pretty good.
I'll put notes in there on my calendar, then I don't look at my calendar. I think the old paper way is better for me.
I give all the
Something
months
about
away.
saying that
Yeah,
you're.
yeah,
We got
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hey, that's free.
Write it down.
And if you've got plenty of
It's,
pens.
it's hard to text in on those.
Who takes-
Yes, ask him for
Email or
pens.
text, text, email me.
Don't take
There'll be a day where I won't. I don't know when it's coming, but.
I mean, you still text or
See,
email.
Mark likes the new technology.
I wish I had never started.
I ain't never started, I ain't gonna start either.
Loves these. So every year, we're afraid we're not gonna get them.
I wanted to make sure it was, make sure I still had some.
I like that. Nice look out there.
Anything else, got anybody? I don't argue about nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just don't work it out. Hang on just a second, buddy.
Now, would you